Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara here once again with another amazing episode of the Joe DeChara Show. And if you don't know me, I am a serial entrepreneur with a CPA license, and I'm coming to you live from downtown Flushing. And I don't know what it is. It's like 80 degrees, but it feels like it's 100 out there. And yes, I was outside with my mask on, folks. And don't worry, the numbers are amazingly low now. I think it was like a month ago, I was in the eye of the storm, the eye of the pandemic, and I was afraid to even go and throw my garbage out. That's how bad it was. But now I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in Florida or Texas or one of these other states. And I'll bet a couple of months ago they were probably saying that about me. But this is it, folks. We're in this for the long term. This isn't gonna be over anytime soon. I think that's apparent. And it makes it even more important that we hunker down and focus on our businesses. And if you haven't pivoted already, I mean, it's time to start pivoting now. And I started pivoting a long, long time ago, folks, because I'd say 15, 16 years ago, I had a traditional CPA practice. I was a miserable accountant. I took it out on the world, and I was just an angry, angry guy. And that all changed. That all changed, thank God, for a number of reasons. But today, I am a happy camper. I don't have a traditional accounting practice because what I realized was I was confined. I was like a caged animal as a CPA, as an entrepreneur in a CPA body, if that makes sense. And I was just so uncomfortable, and I needed to get out of myself and to grow. And I turned my practice into a business, and I became an entrepreneur. And that's when the pivot started. And the first thing that I did was when I realized that I was held down. I had a ball and chain, and it was dictated by where I was physically located. That was it. 15 years ago, it was we drove to clients. We had clients in our area. Yeah, you had clients maybe that moved away, but you didn't normally get business from clients that you've never seen before. So all I did, and anybody could have done that, and now everybody does it, is I turned my accounting practice into a remote business. The technology was there. It wasn't mainstream. At that time, people were just starting to like offshore to India. I was way beyond that. I wasn't offshoring anything to India. I was keeping it home. But all it was a little change in my thinking. And that's the point I wanted to make. Sometimes the pivot, all it takes is a little bit of a nudge. And what I'd like to do tonight, in the spirit of pivoting, oh, here it is. I'd like to pivot to Monday. On Monday, the 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing the second version of my monthly webinar, which I only did once 2 months ago. So it's every month unless we skip a month. But this month, we're doing it. It's July 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to take you through my system on how to win at business. And winning is, the definition is pretty simple. At the end of the day, or the month, or the year, you want to have more in your bank account than when you started out with. And you want to do it with integrity, with intention, and that's how you win. And when you do it that way, you can actually enjoy your life. So I have a whole title with the tagline, and it's something like, win it at business while you enjoy your life. But anyway, that's Monday. That's not what the show is about tonight. I'm going to keep talking about this because it is free. It's I think a good lesson in how I pivoted my business at the very least. At the very least, one of the things about winning at business is not being a slave to it. I can run my business from anywhere on the planet, basically. And that was one of my intentions. And 15 years ago, it seemed far-fetched. I didn't even have a remote bookkeeper, and I had to talk my mom into learning how to do bookkeeping. So, now I have people all over the world. I have clients as far away as Tokyo, Japan, and I have VAs. And anyway, enough about me. I'd just like to see if you register. If it's not for you, then pass the URL along, and it'll be definitely worth every penny you pay for it. But what I want to talk about tonight is something that I've been working on for a long time. I had the idea years ago. I just didn't know how to implement it. I went in a bunch of different directions. This was actually called Bedrock Bookkeepers University way back about 6 years ago, where I was actually trying to teach people what I taught my mom to do. I was teaching people how to start their own bookkeeping from home. And it worked. It was, I set a couple of people up. I taught a bunch of people. A couple of people went out and started their own bookkeeping business. But to be honest with you, it was pretty damn boring. That's the truth. It was just too boring. I'm like, I just can't get excited about teaching people bookkeeping. And it didn't seem like they were too excited about it either. So I said, well, let me go back to just teaching about business. So it became Bedrock University. That's it, Bedrock University, and it's all about teaching solopreneurs and brand new business owners the truth about what it is, what it means to start and run a new business. Because the rules of engagement for a brand new business today, folks, are not the same as they were 20 years ago. I was listening to my friend John Limbacher today talk about SEO. And SEO, there are no more tricks. Listen, you got to be real. You got to create real content. You got to really engage your people. Now, there's some, tricks and ways to leverage how you do it. But the truth is that when you go into business now, you're transparent. There are no more, let me put an ad in the paper and start a business. You can't do it that way. So all of those tried and true business models that may still work today for traditional businesses, they just don't work in today's economy, where most of us, even before COVID, most of us were working from home. I haven't had an office in years. The last office I had to close because I was never going there. I had it to do networking meetings, and then when those stopped, I had a big office, and I never went there. So, business is not the same as it used to. And it's actually easier to get into business now because you could get into business without spending any money. And now we get into the situation where we got millions of people going into business that have never been in business before and have absolutely no idea what to do. And that's where Bedrock University comes in. Because I know there's things like Udemy and all these other online teaching platforms, and you can pay $10 to learn how to become the world's greatest bookkeeper. But the truth is that a lot of that stuff is fluff. A lot of it is written by people that have no idea what they're doing. You know, anybody could put a course up. And I'm not belittling people that have courses on Udemy and wherever, because it does take a lot to put a course up there. But what I've done, and this just might be, you know, my own thing, and let me take this down, is I handpicked people that I know can not only connect with those solopreneurs and new business owners that need today's laser focused direction and guidance. I've handpicked them because not only are they knowledgeable and experienced and doing it, they've been doing it for a long time. They're proven commodities. So let me go in here and just give you an example of some of the things, some of the courses that we have in here, because it actually started with just me. And then I realized how boring would that be, just having Joe DeChara teaching all of these different subjects that he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. So, you know, maybe something like how to set up your chart of accounts. Yeah, I can handle that. But I have no idea how to build a massive Facebook tribe. But my friend Haley Gray does. So what I did was I interviewed Haley, and she gave me all of her tricks and secrets, and she said there are no secrets. They're not tricks. They're just things that you do. And the whole course is here. And I think we did this back in October, towards the end of October. And so after the interview, I said, you know, I'm going to take you up on this and start my own group. Now, if you're in the Bedrock Business Builders group right now, you know we have over 900 real entrepreneurs. Those are people I personally invited. I know most of them, either maybe not personally, but I know a lot of them online. So it's not just numbers. This is a real group. And I did that based on the content that is right here that you could get for free. Now, I know Haley is doing another challenge. She just did one in her group in Wen. And it's how to build, you know, your own tribe. And this is one of the things that you need today, folks. You need to have a tribe in today's world. Well, I can't say you need it. It's very, very wise to have your own tribe, especially if you're going to be in the world of speaking, coaching. And nowadays, it's like, it's so easy to become a coach because my coach, Larry Broughton, is a hotel owner. But actually, he's an entrepreneur. I'm kidding. But the truth is, it really doesn't matter today what you do. If you have an expertise in something, you could become a coach. And I don't even know how I got on that subject, but here's the bottom line. Haley Gray is about to do another 5 or 7 day challenge. She just gives you so much content. I highly recommend doing it, but you could start off with this, and she's going to repeat a lot of the stuff that she has in here. And she also goes into some personal entrepreneurial stuff, because it's not just about, hey, that's what sets us apart. We don't just have businesses, we have families. And some of us have large families. And sometimes stuff happens with our families, and it plays into our business. So we got a whole chapter here on balancing family and business. So let me show you a couple of the other courses, because I'm pretty proud of. I'm not going to skip all of these, but I want to. Here's one. Mike Wolf. Mike Wolf is a world-class entrepreneur, international real estate owner, operator, very, very down to earth, guy, you know, if you meet him, the kind of guy you just like to have a cup of coffee or a drink with. Okay, you would not know from the outside, hey, this guy's got it going. This guy's a real entrepreneur. And so he talks about how he built his empire. And the funny thing is that, you know, and everybody has a story. So Mike started out with no intention of being in business. He was a college graduate, and you know, he bought his first house, and you'll have to listen to the course, but you'll find out how that first house led to him spending a third of his time now traveling the world trying to make a difference, another third with his family, and the other third he works a little. And when I say work, is he does these Mike Wolf mastery courses where he teaches people the ins and outs of starting their own real estate business. So you're going to learn from a guy that did it from the ground up, and he's going to take you through step by step. And he also talks about the 3 stages of entrepreneurship, which is, you know, we had, and I'll see if I can remember this, basically the fly by the seat of your pants stage, where when we start out, we're just doing everything. Then you hit a wall, okay? And I think he called that the control freak wall. But anyway, if you're lucky, you get to the point where he is, which is, you know, being a real entrepreneur, being able to travel, being a master of your own time. And that's a course from Mike Wolf. Now over here, I have a course by my friend John Limbacher, who's actually one of the top internet marketing people in the world, one of the top SEO people in the world. And he talks about a lot of interesting things here about how to actually scale your business. Now, again, if you saw John, you know, he seems like a normal, everyday guy, and he is, but he's massively, massively successful. And I don't know about you, but I want to learn from people that are successful. And John, I think he's been doing SEO work before they even had the internet. That's how far ahead of his time. He was doing it. He didn't. He was just doing this, and then they invented the internet, and he realized, hey, this works with this new internet thing. So yeah, he's ahead of his time. So that's one of our professors, and we'll be adding more, you know, as we go on. And you know, I can't go through all of them. Pat Wiley, if you know him, he's the credit expert. We got Sara Bauxbaum, just did an amazing way to finance a new business. And it's brand new. It has to do with leveraging the technology, but it gave people that don't normally have a chance to invest in new companies a chance to invest, and it's really exciting. Ricky Powell, Finding the Key to Happiness. You know, like I said, Pat Wiley with business credit. My friend Lynn Murphy here did a very interesting, she actually has 2 courses up here. And one was about measuring the cost of having conflict in your business. Now, as an accountant, that amazes me because, you know, if you have 2 people that just don't get along in an office, or people are button heads, to have a way to quantify that is huge. And she actually does that, and she does another course with me on what is it? Innovative business solutions. Anyway, but it was all about interpersonal skills. Now, here's the thing, folks. These are topics that I always thought had to do with the biggest of big businesses, interpersonal relationships. the cost of conflict. I mean, these are things that they discuss in the board meetings. Solopreneurs don't get this kind of training, but we need it. We need it. You see, they didn't teach me this stuff in CPA school. And then we start with, I'm starting to add some of my own courses. There's going to be How You Can Win a Business, which is still in the works. But if you're in California, so this is a surprise, we have How to Incorporate in California. So now if you know me, a lot of what I do is I incorporate people, I charge for it. Well, if you want to give it a shot and do it yourself, you got all the information you need here. The next one is going to be how to get a tax ID number, and I got a bunch of other courses. I just wanted to get some of my people up there ahead of me, and that's it, folks. I encourage everybody to join. We will be looking for new professors shortly. Right now, I want to finalize the ones that we have up there, and I got a lot on deck. And if you have something to offer, you want to be part of the university, you could just reach out to me. Where's my little thing here? You can go to Time with Joe, another StreamYard feature that I love, and book a chat with me if you want to talk about being a professor in the university. That it's not free. There is a cost involved. It costs me money, but you will get the marketing exposure. And at the very least, register and see what it's like. Take a look at some of the courses. And the courses, they may not all be 100% complete because I got to go through a final edit and maybe put some final calls to action and offers from the professors. But I would start with the Haley Gray course because I used it and I got a nice sized group. It's working. I'm building it. I know she taught me a lot of stuff from the last challenge that I still have to incorporate. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. I don't know if there were any comments. Let's see. Yeah, there's somebody here. I'm sorry. I pretty much given up on trying to be interactive. I found out that in StreamYard, I can be semi-interactive, but until I get like a co-host or something, but if you do have a question or a comment, post it in the chat. Give me a hashtag live if you're live and a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Only because what I learned is that when you do that, anytime somebody adds something to that post, you get notified. So I think that's one of those tricks that we're not supposed to know about. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Joe DiChiara, over and out. I will see you tomorrow. Join me at Bedrock University, and definitely go to howtowinabusiness.com. How to Win a Business free webinar. Thank you. Over and out. God bless. Good night.